understandable. But for those of you who like to hear these type of stories, please stay on, because this story is crazy, so crazy. Like, it's so crazy that you're gonna be like, what did you just say? Wait for it, people, wait for it, because when I first heard this story, guys, I was so hooked on what was going on because I was so in awe, disgusted, and like, just like my mind was like, how do people think? How do people function? Like, I mean, I know we are all wired differently, right? I completely get it. But people who intentionally hurt loved ones, what's wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? Not you, but her. Like, what's wrong with her? Or anyone who does those type of things. I don't stand by it. I don't like it. I had to bring it to you just so you could see how some people, they just think. Like, they think the unthinkable, okay? Things that, like, maybe you and I would not think of. Someone else may. So, let's jump right into it because I don't want to waste any more of your time. I want to give you the facts of what this girl did and what happened and why it happened and what resulted in it and why she did it. You know, the whole nine. So, let's get into it. Jennifer Ban, right? I'm going to be reading from some of the things, and I'm also just going to talk to you about it because I did a lot of research on her and the whole situation. So from what I take and from what I've read, immigrant parents from Vietnam, and they were able to escape Vietnam and come here to America to start a life for themselves and for their children. So she was Canadian and they lived near Toronto or in Toronto, one of the two. So what happened was they were what you would type parents that you would call like helicopter parents in this terminology. I believe it's called tiger parents, which I never heard of, but I've been hearing a lot. So what it basically means is like parents who push academic achievement and success on their children. They are very strict with them when it comes to their education. They want them to do well. They don't want them to hang out with their friends and go partying and drinking and smoking. No. They want their kids to succeed in school, and it's all about school, and they don't really want their children to have too much of a social life. So now I agree to a certain extent. You have to make your kid also live their life. It can't just be about academics. You know, I was very involved in school, and my family was strict as well, but I also had my time with my friends because everybody needs that. You can't just be tied into your academics. Like, you have to have a life, otherwise you're just awkward too. Like, you have to know how to live a well-balanced life, and I understand that as a child or as a teenager you may not understand that, but that's all your parents' job into teaching you how to balance and, you know, have both, do well in school but also enjoy yourself. That's how I was raised, and I was able to do both perfectly well. And I'm not trying to give myself kudos, I'm just saying I was able to do both of it, and I am extremely lucky for that. Okay, so unfortunately our family was not like that. They were very on top of her. They wouldn't let her have a social life. They wanted her to do all these things. She was a figure skater, and she actually ended up hurting herself, which resulted in her not being able to skate anymore. So she ended up having, she stopped, and she was in school, and she was learning like the piano and things of that sort. So what happened was she met this guy. Okay, all the horror story of every teenager. I'm just kidding. She met this guy, right? And she really falls for him, but her parents aren't really too happy about it. They don't really like him that much, but whatever. So she tells her parents she is a straight A student. She's doing fantastic. She's wonderful. Her scores are like through the roof. She's getting honors, everything. So her parents are believing her. She's forging her report cards. She's forging everything she could forge to just make her parents think that she's doing great in school. Guess what? She didn't even graduate high school because she wasn't even going. She was hanging out with her boyfriend. So what happens? She ends up telling her parents she got accepted to all these colleges. She was studying pharmaceuticals. She went and bought, oh my god, listen to this. She went and bought textbooks to make her parents think that she was legit studying pharmacology, and she had the textbooks, the whole nine, right? So, excuse the footsteps upstairs. I'm having like such a difficult time filming today. Everything's in the way, but just excuse him. Anyway, so what happens is she's playing this role. She's a straight A student. She's getting into college. She's doing great, the whole nine. Her parents are like, okay, they're wondering about her graduation. She tells them, oh, there's no graduation, there's no more seats available. So they start feeling like something's fishy. Then she tells them she got a job in a hospital, and she's working with these, it's like a hospital for sick children. So they're like, okay, she doesn't have an IT badge. Like, her parents are picking up on things, which at least they're in tune with what's going on. So they realize she's lying, okay? They got that parental hunch when you know your kid's lying. I wouldn't know because I'm not a parent just yet, or anytime soon, because I don't know about that right now. But most parents, they'll tell you like they know when their kid's lying. So her parents, they knew off the bat she was up to no good. So what did they do? They decided to follow her to her quote-unquote job at the hospital. Lo and behold, what did they find out? Your girl's not working at a hospital. She's not working at all. And guess what? It also comes to light that she never even graduated high school. So now our parents start flipping out. Which, I mean, can you blame them? They're thinking she's doing awesome. I would have went nuts on my daughter too. If I had a daughter, I would have went nuts. But this isn't about my opinion. So anyway, she basically ends up I guess she confessed and said yes, she didn't graduate, so her parents banned her from everything she likes. No boyfriend, no friends, no social life. They take her cell phone away. They really went hard on her, right? But they're upset, they're annoyed. I mean, hello, whatever. So she ends up that her parents literally put her almost on house arrest, which was a little bit too harsh in my sense, but in my opinion. But it is what it is. I'm not their parents, so our parents, so I don't know. So they put her on house arrest. I'm using that terminology because she couldn't do anything. The only thing she was able to do was go and give her piano lessons, because she used to tutor children in piano. Okay, so while she's home, taking in all of the stuff that she did, realizing she did some messed up shit and everything else, her mind starts going crazy, right? I could get it to a certain degree. I get it. So her so-called boyfriend starts seeing a new chick, which starts pissing her off. Okay, because now she can't see him. He's like, screw her, and he's on to the next one. Men. That's all I gotta say. So what happens is she gets super annoyed. She's calling up her ex. She's telling him no, I'm gonna see you and blah blah blah. And he's like, how, if you're on house arrest with your parents and the whole nine? And she's like, no, I'm gonna see you. She even goes as far as telling her boyfriend that the girl that he's talking to is doing things to her to intentionally hurt her, just anything to get his attention. Okay, so she confides in her boyfriend and tells her boyfriend she has this bright idea. You want to know what her bright idea is? I'm gonna tell you. Her bright idea is to assassinate her parents, to get them killed by someone who can kill them, to pay someone to kill her parents. Absolutely disgusting. I don't care. I really do not care how bad your parents piss you off, but if you're gonna try to get them killed, they brought you into this world and you're trying to take them out. Just think about that for a second. And all they did was just want her to succeed. There was no, I don't want to really get into it, but that was it. Okay, nothing really, there was no abuse. There was maybe some emotional and a mental abuse to get her to do well and succeed in school and to get a good career, but there was no other type of abuse to get to that point. We'll leave this son of a, we won't get into it, okay? He goes and reaches out to, I believe it's 2 guys or 3 guys, 2 or 3. I think maybe it was 3. And he tells them, hey, we're gonna pay you $10,000 to kill off her parents. And they agree. They agree to do it because they're just disgusting people and that's what they do. So what does she do? She makes it as though it's a home invasion. I'm actually really proud of myself that I didn't need my phone for this because that's how much I went into depth about this story. So she pretends it's a home invasion. How does she do this, you may ask? She unlocks the door to her house and she goes upstairs to her bedroom and she lets her boyfriend and the people who are coming to assassinate her mother and father, she gives them the cue with a text, come on in, the door's open, do your thing. They come in, they pretend they're trying to rob the house, they're asking for money, the parents are telling them where the money is. They end up going upstairs to her, she ends up going downstairs, they shoot, okay? They didn't shoot first. First, they tied her parents, and they apparently tied her as well. This was her story. They tie her to a banister, that's what she's saying. Then they shoot her mother, and they shoot her father, okay? She is apparently upstairs, and she's pretending. This was the part that gave me the chills, guys. I was like, oh. She's lucky I'm not in jail with her. That's all I got to say. But anyway, she pretends, okay, that she's so worried about her parents. She's calling 911 and she's telling them that there was a home invasion and people got shot and please come help. And she's screaming to her dad, and this is what like just hurt me so much. She's screaming to her dad like, don't worry, I'm calling 911. Never. I don't care how bad I would hate my father, because I don't hate my father. I'm like this with my dad, but I don't care how bad. I could never see myself doing this ever. Okay, so when I was like listening to this, it just, I don't know, it just made me get so angry a little bit because I just thought it was terrible. But anyway, father like shouting in pain and like agony, and he's like, you know, upset because he just saw his wife get shot in the head, and the father like somehow, by the love of God, he was able to get up and make it to the front door where his neighbor saw him, and he's like screaming for help, and she's upstairs, this girl, okay, she's upstairs. My New York accent's coming out hard because I'm so mad about the story, but she's upstairs on the phone with 911 pretending like she didn't know this was even happening, like that this was even gonna happen, okay, like she was the, you know, honor child of the year. Anyway, so she's telling them, please come, blah blah blah, my father, my mother, they're hurt. Guys, please disregard that. These cars, no, whatever. So she tells them, please come. What happens? They end up coming. They get the father, the mother. The mother's pronounced dead. The father they bring to the hospital. There's a chance he may survive, but she doesn't really know what's going on because she figures he's gonna get shot. She probably thinks that he's gonna die. She lies to the detectives. Lies so bad. I watched her getting interrogated, and the detectives were nice with it. Oh my gosh, were they nice? Like, let me tell you, they played, it was a little messed up because they played like they were on her side, and then they gave it to her at the end, and that made her confess. So like they used a lot of psychological warfare on her, I would say. I mean, is it right to do that? I don't really agree, but if you're trying to get the confession because you know someone's guilty, then in a sense it's like, do you, and get her to say it, because bring our parents to justice. So what happens? Finally, she like buckles down and confesses it. But why did the cops know for sure it was her? Let me tell you, her father was in a coma. He gets up and he starts remembering things, right, of this tragic event. He reaches out to the detectives and tells the detectives, my daughter wasn't tied down. She was walking around the house with these so-called home intruders. Okay, can you imagine this poor man? He gets up from a because the father legit said, my daughter had something to do with this. He felt it, he knew it, and he saw she wasn't tied up. They were letting her roam around, hence why she was able to call 911, because they were questioning her. If you were tied up, how did you get to your cell phone? And she's like, oh, I did this and this and this, and she's like maneuvering her whole body to show how she got to her phone, which was super awkward. We knew something was up. Well, I knew watching it, and I'm sure so did the detectives. So ultimately, her mother is dead. Thank God her father is alive till this day. But this poor man, to know that your daughter plotted this and that your daughter is the reason why your wife is dead and why you got shot so many times, and the fact that he almost didn't make it, and thank God he got up from that coma and he remembered things. So they later come and find out what was going on, that, you know, it was from the boyfriend and the assassins that they hired. So I believe that everyone is in jail right now, including the boyfriend, and I'm happy because he was plotting it too. I mean, this story was just ridiculous. Oh, and also, to top it off, ladies and gentlemen, the reason she was doing this as well was because she knew that once her parents died, she would inherit money, so her and her boyfriend could live a wonderful life, okay? Twisted, okay? That's all I have to say. Twisted. There's really, like, not much, you know, I don't think I could ever be a lawyer or a judge, because I would be so biased. I'm sorry. There was no physical abuse. There was no sexual abuse. There was no abuse that I could say warranted her to kill her parents. That is my opinion. If you do not agree, I am sorry, but that is my opinion. Just because your parents were strict with you and wanted you to succeed in life and wanted you to do well because they struggled and they provided you with those tools and resources to better yourself, and you just blew it all away. That's all I'm gonna say. I know I keep saying them and I keep saying more, but it's just I have so many opinions and thoughts on it, and I really would love to know, what do you think about this story? I mean, I summarized it. If you want to go into more detail, by all means, please look it up. Like I said, her name is Jennifer Ban. But I am very curious to see what your thoughts and your opinions are regarding this topic, because it captivated me, but in a bad way. Like, I was just like, whoa. And know when this happened, and maybe it's because I'm from the United States and it did happen in Canada, but when I heard the story, I was just like, I was heartbroken for her father, the family. She had a brother. I mean, now her poor brother doesn't have a mother because of her, and like, I'm sure he cut ties with her as well, but who knows what's going on with that. I don't know the after effect, like, now that she's in prison, I don't know what's going on with her. But please let me know in the comments what you thought about this story.